Well, we hope you enjoyed part one of this two-part series with our conversation with Edward Johnson and Kevin Cheneau. Today we continue our discussion with them and talk about how they define hospitality and what hospitality means to them, what they feel is most important within their roles, and also an in-depth discussion about how we pay it forward, how we nurture those that are coming into our industry. And we finish off with discussion of the current climate today and the impact of the pandemic on each of them, as well as our industry, and how they view the future of the industry. So we welcome you and we hope you enjoy. I'm going to roll right into the next question. I'm going to start with Kev. When you think of the word hospitality, how do you define it? What does it mean to you?
When you think in terms of hospitality, for me, it's all encompassing. Meaning that, hope you had a great flight coming in. You're going to have a good experience now that you met me. I'm going to make that part happen.
Yeah.
And knowing that I had a team that backed me up on every move that I made. And I don't think people really get that. I mean, people hear, when W first came out, people heard about it. But I think T.I. kind of put it on the map because he shot a video out that at the one that you guys were at. And so when the celebrities found out about it, then it was like a mad dash or mad rush. It's like, I got to get a taste of that. It's like, I can feel something positive, but I can't put my finger on it. It was one of those type things. But again, it goes back to the guests. It's always the guest. It's always because the guest is paying the bills at the end of the day, regardless of what we say or what it is that we do. And the thing is, they could pick any hotel, any brand to go stay at. But they chose up for whatever reason, and here's my opportunity to create a lasting impression that, you know what, when you leave the city, you're going to say, you know what, when I go back to New Orleans, I know where I'm going. And that's my definition.
I know we touched on this a little while ago, but I couldn't agree more with the answer. I think you're dead on. And you think about the point I made earlier with regards to guests visiting these buildings with a name on them, not because of the name on the building, but because of the people who work in it.
People behind it.
You know, because I'll tell you, you know, people probably go to your property and ask for you. People probably go to, you know, the Lowe's property and ask for Ed. And I remember for years after, when I worked in that same building on Poydras, you know, the W, and then now it's the Meridian, obviously. Yes. I remember for years people still coming back looking for Steve Hawkins, and I'm like, okay, he's been gone for a while now, but that's how much how much of an
impression.
Well, exactly, that's how much of an impact of those people that work in our industry, just like you two guys do, have on the people that are coming to visit day in and day out. And so hospitality is, I mean, it's a way of life, and it certainly is what we live and breathe. And you guys, again, are the epitome of it. And I'll ask you the same question. I mean, what is when you think of that word hospitality, how do you define it?
My definition of hospitality is, come let me take care of you. Let me feed you. Let me show you a good time. That way, you know, if I do all those things, I touch all those points, you coming back and you're going to bring more people with you.
Absolutely.
And that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Yes. I want you to be, I'm going to make you feel like this building is my home. And I'm going to guide you. I'm going to get you where you need to be. I'm going to connect you with the people you need to be connected with, the things you want to do. I'm going to make them happen. At any point, we going to make this happen. Even if I got to surprise you with something, you know, just to leave that brand stamp on you that I'm here and I'm going to be here for you.
You know, it was interesting as I hear you guys speak, and I know it seems like all of us and almost every single person has been successful in this industry in a way where it's not successful on paper. It's successful because people seek them out and because they make such a positive impression on people. Is that we treat where we work in these hotels, we treat it like our home. And that's the first thing I tell people when I have the opportunity to sit down and interview people for positions. I make this very clear to everyone. I said, this is our home, and our goal is to make sure that everybody who walks through those doors is made to feel like we're welcoming them into our home. And you might not do the same things when you welcome someone into your home, but you want to generate those same feelings, right? You know, of saying, hey, look, my house is your house. You know, we clean up just like you clean up when you have visitors. We pull out the fresh things, we do all that stuff. But that feeling that you generate when you give somebody a warm embrace when they come into your house and they, you know, family coming to visit, is what we want to generate. We might not hug and kiss everybody that comes through those doors, but we make them feel that way, and we make them feel like they're family. We make them feel like they're family, and I think that's what you guys represent and what you guys bring to this industry. And honestly, everyone who's had success in this industry thinks of it that way. If you think about based on kind of your example and or your definition, Kevin, and your definition, Ed, is that we are in the business, in essence, of creating memories, because people leave your hotel, Ed, or people leave your hotel, Kevin. They don't. Yes. They're not gonna. A year from now, they're not gonna remember the type of shampoo they used or how cool that pillow was. But they'll remember that conversation or that recommendation or how you made
the way you made me feel.
The way you made me feel while I was.
The way you make me feel. Absolutely.
And if you think about it, that is really what leads to our success. That's really what leads to people coming back. You know, both of you all gave great examples of exactly how we do that, how we work to create positive memories that people want to come back and experience again, and also bring other people with them. And at the end of the day, that's our goal.
Right. Now we just got to get the younger generation on board, and this ship will stay sailing.
Exactly.
That's the key. Because they out there, the young, and I say that because the younger generation are our future.
Absolutely.
So if we can't install that in them, our future is
right.
So we we gotta find a way to reach them so they can reach this and get it and understand. It ain't nothing nobody can teach you in a book.
That leaves me kind of jumping into the next question, and I'll lead off with you, Ed, on this next question. So you guys have both been doing this for a long time. What do you think really is at the core of what makes a guest leave us happy?
It's like this. This is a true example. We have this lady, her and her husband, they like millionaires. They live in Texas. They come to our property at the Lowe's. I'm not gonna say their name, but anyway, they come to the property, and one time they had an issue. As a matter of fact, it was because of the Saints was staying there. They room changed them, and they couldn't get them their room that they wanted, so they left for the date. So they just left. But the lady gave me her number. She said, "Hey, give me a call when things get straight." So I went to the desk and jumped right on it and got them what they like, the room they like. And then I called her, and she was like, "Oh, we're going to run to the store with our son, and we'll be back." So when I called her, I was like, I got you. Come on, such and such, your room straight. I got you guys. I got everything moved in there. You guys good. That, which we had a friendship before that, but that seemed like it's just brought us even closer. We on Facebook together now. I communicate with her. Right. Yeah. She called me here and there and asked me how my family. When they had bad weather out there, I called her to check on her and her husband, and I know her daughter there with a newborn baby, how they were doing. We gained that relationship.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I love that.
Kevin, I'll pose the same question to you. What do you at the end of the day is really what we do that makes guests truly happy or leave here happy?
I keep referencing this back to the W, because they had a standard in place and it worked, because it still allows you to be a human being and not be a robot in terms of being restrained. There was a video they used to do with new hires, and they got to the section where they talked about some guests, there's nothing that you can do to satisfy them other than live up to what you say that it is that you do. If you say you sell rums, okay, make sure you got a clean rum that you're selling. And so I forgot what percentage of it is. They say there's a percentage of guests that don't complain. They just don't come back. Right. So true. So I experienced that firsthand. One morning, young guest, he was walking out, and he had like such a, his demeanor was kind of laid back, like something's not right. Again, reading body language, right? And so I say, well, how was your stay? He said it was okay. I said, just okay? He said, yeah. I said, what, you had a problem? Was it mishap or anything? He said, no. I say, well, there's not anything I can offer you? No, there's nothing you can offer. I say, well, won't you tell me what happened, and maybe I can help you clear that part up. He said, well, I just won't come back. I said, wait a minute. I'm going to tell you something. I said, they have a video exactly about you. I don't think you in the video, but the story that you're telling me right now, I'm not letting you leave out of here without slowing you down from doing what it is that you got to do. But give me an opportunity to fix it for you. And the guest said, you know what, Kev? I'll give you a shot at it. I don't remember what it was, but I know for a fact with that video, to see it play out in front of my eyes, and I had to get involved in it, and knowing that it was a make or break. Exactly. A lot of times these guys don't want anything. I don't need you to give me anything. I got money. I can get whatever it is that I want. Exactly. Even if somebody steals a shirt or steal anything from me, I can buy another one. But the thing is the way that you handle it, the way that you approach the guests. And so that stands out for me. That's always been the epitome of something that I always stood on. Is about the way that you make that guest feel.
Exactly.
And the window is there. The window is there, but you have to recognize it. Because I said, I could either say, okay, well, I know he ain't coming back. I'm not even gonna waste my time with him. But I took the time out, and listen, I'm on the clock, so it won't cost me anything. The hotel's paying for it, anyways. And so that has always stuck with me. That kind of stood out for me and say, this is what it is that makes it really truly work.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned something that sticks with me, Kevin, is that in our day, think about how many times we have that opportunity because we see the body language in front of us. And I'm glad you mentioned it because that is one of the biggest opportunities that we have in our industry because we're human. We all react differently or sometimes in the same way, given our body language when something is not right. And you are right. Not everybody picks up on that. But the fact that you do and then you were persistent, the fact that you were persistent probably won the guy over. He's like, man, he really wants to help me. I know exactly what you're talking about. We both obviously work, all four of us have worked for the W brand. And you think about the walkers and talkers, right? We call them walkers and talkers. People that just walk out. And some people are going to voice their frustrations. And I think what makes a difference are people like you and many that are in our industry that will stop and take action and engage that guest. Because in some industries, they see it and they just walk away. They're like, look, that's not my problem. If they don't say anything, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to walk away. But we have people that truly care about our guests and they're committed to their satisfaction, to being exceptional at what we do. And that's why you did what you did. You engaged that person, said, look, this is what I'm here for. Let me see how I can help you. I agree with Jerry. That is, what sets us apart, what sets you apart from many other industries, because many other folks in other industries, because we will take that action and take those steps to say, let me try to make it right. You both have been fortunate to work your way into leadership and earned your leadership roles by working hard and just learning throughout the years. And Jerry pointed this out. You guys pointed out you wear many hats throughout these years as you grow up in the industry. And Ed, you kind of hit on this, so I'm going to go back to you here. How do you pay that forward? The fact that you basically pay your dues, you earned your leadership role, and you've worn all these hats. How do you pass that on? How do you pass the baton on so that you can help the next generation, as you mentioned earlier, to be what we want it to be?
Well, I'm gonna go back to pre-K. It's stuff my sister and them used to always teach the kids. Each one teach one.
Right.
That says a lot. That's my thing. I don't shy away from the youth. A lot of people get aggravated with them, don't want to deal with them, or just let him go. He gonna be all right. No.
Right.
If I can't explain it to you, I show it to you.
Right.
That's my next move. So if I can't just explain it to you, now I'm gonna take your weak point and make it your strong point for you. Yes. And I'm gonna do that by sticking by you, paying attention, and teaching you. And guide you the whole way. After you done something, you step away, step to you. Look, you did a good job, but you could do this, and it'll work out a little better. Watch this, and that's what we got to do with them. Feel comfortable when you do that, rather than you just tell them and point your finger and just leave them out there. They figure you don't care. Because this younger generation, they're a lot more sensitive than what we are.
Right.
So you kind of gotta pat them on the back here and there, and you can't leave them. You got to show them I'm with you. As long as you show them that, show them that I'm going to stand beside you, you can win them over so easy. They'll fall for whatever you want them to do, whatever game you put in their backyard. But if you don't sit there and, guide them and just hang on their back for a little while and, make them feel like, your family. Right. Just as you would do to the guests. Make them feel the same way. Hey, man, how your mama doing? And be compassionate about it. Just don't use those words. Be really compassionate.
I just want to piggyback on that, Ed, just because, I want to demonstrate that you live by that example. And I won't name any names, but when he hears this, he'll know who I'm talking about. I remember a time when at the W French Quarter, we had a valet that was having some issues and constantly damaging cars' tires or damaging the cars themselves. And you took him under your wing. We did not give up on him. You did not give up on him. And then fast forward, once I had the opportunity to work with you again at Lowe's, we had the opportunity to bring this person back. And subsequently, he became one of our best bellmen and then also a valet supervisor. So because I really believe that you live by that example, taking him under your wing at the time and leading by that example, it led to his success. And that's an example of your paying it forward. So I know that you truly live by that example. To add to, there's two things that we need as an industry, and honestly, even more so today with younger folks that are led in different ways. Honestly, they respond to different levels of leadership. You need mentors and you need sponsors. Like, we need somebody to do, like you said, take somebody under your wing and really coach them and guide them. But you also need sponsors. You need somebody to say, hey, I'm going to sponsor you. I'm going to make sure you reach this level. I'm going to take you. What do you want to be? What do you want to reach? And I'm going to make sure you get there and stick with you along the way. And, again, you guys have both done that in your own right. And, Kev, how would you answer this question? When you think about earning your leadership, paying your dues, you talked about all the roles that you've held and how you came into this industry and the door was open for you. How do you pay it forward? How do you continue to see folks grow just in this industry, just like you have?
It's actually in the same vein as to what Ed speak about. The thing is, we got to know that somebody gave us a chance. And the thing is, a lot of time we assume that everybody have the same experience in their life and have the same upbringing, have the same understanding. And that's not necessarily always the case. But the thing is, if the person is willing to give it a try, I can show you a better way that you can do this. And it's not like, taking it away from what you're doing, but at the same time, okay, this is how you did. Okay, let me show you how I would do it. And watch the difference. And there's not no judgment call or anything like that, but whatever makes you feel comfortable, that way you're not, crawling in your skin to do it. And so it's just one of those things where if you stick with that model, somebody gave me a chance. So let me back up a little bit. And you know what? This person seems like they're interested in it. It seems like it appeals to them. They see the money potential there. And as I say, it's not always about the money, because the money will come. The money definitely will follow you. And it's just a matter of fact. That definitely will happen. Yeah, and so I've always kept that in mind, man. It goes back to one of the things my grandfather and I were real close, very close, more close than my father was. And my grandfather, when he passed, I'm in the church and I can't cry. It's like, man, my grandfather up there, he's deceased. I'm not crying. And so when I thought about it, I said, you know what? There's nothing to cry about. My grandfather took the time out with me, my brother, and my uncle, which was his son. He said, listen, guys, in the summertime, y'all going to be out of school. You're 13, 14 years old. I don't need you getting in trouble. So he's a carpenter. I'm going to take y'all out, put some money in your pocket. So if you get yourself in trouble, make sure it's for defending yourself. But if it's some fooling, just don't waste that phone call on me, because I'm not coming for you. And so when I understood that, I said, you know what? Him and I had a connection in terms of he understood me, I understood him. And it's one of those things that goes back to the Bible. Even if you're not a believer, there's some truth in it. And if I can just reach one, your job is done. Your job is done. If you do one. And so that way, if each one of us grab one, and then you can see the numbers multiply exponentially. And it takes it to a whole nother level. And the thing is, like you said, everybody's not cut out for this. Believe me, everybody's not. And so the thing is, if you got it in you, and you're willing to try and you're willing to learn and humble yourself and say, you know what? He may not come and ask me. Let me go ask him if he needs some help with something. And something so simple as I knew how to drive a stick shift, but you say that to somebody now, it's like that's foreign to people.
Right. Yeah.
But the thing is, once you learn it, if you didn't have to see where you were going, you could do it blindfolded, and Ed could have testified to that. You understand?
Right.
And so the thing is, you guys have always been mature beyond your age, because you guys, I say Ed about 10 years under me. I know you guys about close to 20 behind Ed and myself. You know, and so it's one of those things, man, where you just have to be considerate and take time out and say, you know what? This could be my brother. This could be my son, my grandson. It could be a family friend or something like that. You never know. But the person met you halfway by coming to the job, okay, let me show you the ins and outs of how this job operates, and then we go from there.
Yeah, and that's important because we're shaping the industry. It goes back to the point Ed made earlier: legacy that you want to make sure remains intact. We've all been in this industry for a while. I remember, and still to this day, I interview every single candidate, and part of what I think is paying it forward is I have very honest conversations when I sit down with people that want to work in this industry. You guys hit the nail on the head. Some people are made for it, some people are not. I'm going to be honest with them either way. I'm going to say, hey, look, this is what I think you'd be great at doing, even if it's outside the industry. And I meet every single person. It doesn't matter if you're coming in to be a manager or to potentially be a manager, or if you're coming in to be in the dish pit. I'm going to sit down with you. I'm going to have a conversation with them, and I try to make an impact on your life and give you whatever guidance I see is good for you. And if you're a good fit, if you're a good fit for us, then great. You're going to be part of this team, and you're going to be happy to be part of it. But we all have that obligation to pay it forward, to help people, and honestly to be happy in the roles that we're in. And that's only possible if you truly have a passion to do what you're getting into. So you guys again are the epitome. And again, I think you guys are in your roles too, and you've grown into leadership because you've known when to step in and mentor people, and then you've also known when to step aside and let them do their thing, and then coach them afterwards. Because part of it is they have to show you what they've got, and they've got to show that they've got the chops to do what is necessary to be in this industry. So I applaud both of you because again, I've worked with both of you. Jerry has too. You guys are the epitome of it and show it every single day.
In the hospitality industry, we always do a lot of training today with regards to how we make a guest feel, appealing to their senses, whether it be sight, sounds, smells. We always talk about, at the end of the day, how did those things make them feel? We want them to leave us having a certain type of feeling that will hopefully motivate them to talk about us in a positive way and to come back. In this next piece, Ed and Kevin and Ramon and I, we get into a good discussion about how we do just that and really how it impacts the overall guest experience.
And that's exactly how it should be, because that's how we continue to pay it forward and we continue to see success. And I think even the examples that Ramon gave are also aligned with that too, is that, that's exactly what we would do if we were looking at how we raise our children, right? And knowing what our role is, knowing when to step aside and let them spread their wings. So
Absolutely.
Definitely, you guys, I echo Ramon's mind. To me, when I hear everything both of you all have said, is that, we're talking about treating people just as if they were our family, because they are our family.
Absolutely.
The same thing that you would do for our son, our brother, our cousin, our uncle, our niece, our nephew is exactly what you all are talking about doing. And in words and saying that you guys are true examples of that. I'm going to jump into the next question. And all of us, honestly, have lived through a lot of turmoil, challenges. We've seen our fair share here in New Orleans. The one that always comes to mind and is always at the top of conversations as of late is always talking about Katrina. And, what we lived through then and how we weathered through that. And I am truly a believer that not only New Orleans, but as the United States, we are resilient and we will, see the other side of this, and we'll be bigger and stronger and better because of everything that we do right now, and how we come back, is going to be critically important. When you think about this situation that we're in now with this pandemic, how has that impacted you as a leader, as an employee, as somebody who really is an example to others? How has this impacted you?
Again, like you said, bringing up Katrina, the first Christmas right after Katrina, Jerry, you can testify. I lost my brother.
Right.
I had to bury my brother, and my family wasn't even here in the city, and I had to get everybody here. I had to make all arrangements. I had to do everything, and that took a lot out of me.
Fell in your lap. Dropped in your lap.
I had a lot to deal with. Being at work helped me a lot.
Sure.
And it's crazy that here the corona done come, and it took I lose another brother.
Right.
But now I'm home.
Right.
It's like, what you do? And it's like, the first thing I was thinking was, man, I ain't go to work and work this off and get this out my head and clear my head.
Right.
Sure.
Everything gonna be all right. But this time, God showed me that He had to show me another plan to sit down and keep still, and He got me.
Right.
Yes.
So my faith with God is very strong, and I know He's real because He helped me get through this.
Right.
I'm happy I'm back at work again. The thing is, I'm not even doing what I'm used to doing. This ball game is of a whole nother of a playing field.
Right.
Absolutely.
Things have changed. Right.
Right. So I'm going there and I'm making the best of this, and it's fine. It's good. It's not what we used to. Actually, I'm not even getting any tips, but I'm happy to go to work because I'm still interacting with my fellow employees, and we all bonding.
Right.
We all are bonding now, and we leaning on each other right now because everybody you touch, in the industry, somebody got somebody or somebody related that's dealing with this thing.
Sure.
Just as me, and I can explain to them what I'm doing to keep moving.
Right. Exactly. So, doing exactly what you said that you're doing by going in and you're right. Things are different right now, but different purpose to every guest we interact with right now, every internal guest, workers, everything. You're having an impact on them. So definitely, thank you for sharing that. And obviously, sorry for your loss. So continue to be the example to others with how you weather through this. And that's definitely something that's extremely impactful. So, Captain, how have you been impacted by, everything, going on today with the pandemic?
Well, myself, I'm still out of work. The hotel hasn't opened back. They're not saying anything, which I understand. A company business is a company business. And as sometimes you say, okay, well, I'm still an employee. I understand that. So you get it, And so I've been at home, but I've been keeping myself busy. And kind of piggyback on what Ed says, sometimes you need to stop and pause and have a seat. And because when you look at COVID, it's not within your control. Whereas Katrina is kind of within your control, because I know with Katrina, we August 29th, we opened back up the W in February, like a day after Harris. So again, control was in place. We got all the tools that we need to work with. Let so-and-so come in and refurbish, do what they got to do, come back with new furniture, blah, 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 this, that, the other. And so when that falls into place, then it became a different story. Whereas with COVID, it's something that you can't feel, you can't see, you can't touch unless you get it.
Right.
And like Eddie said, that we all aware that somebody that we know personally, indirectly, that's been affected by it and no longer here with us. And so it could happen to anybody.
Exactly.
There's it could happen to anybody. And you could be healthy. That health doesn't have anything to do with it, because I know a guy that worked with the wife. This guy was a health nut. You know what I mean? Muscles and all. And he got it. And so he's doing a whole lot better now, but he knows now that he can't do what he did before. And even though he wasn't looking to retire, he's forced into retirement at this point. Wow. And so, like I say, knowing that and seeing that for myself, and it's like one of those things, you know what? I could take this time and do a little more stuff around the house that the wife want me to do, a little honey-do list that she can't normally get me to do. And so I'm not going to wait until I get 65 or whatever age that people think in terms of retirement, because your health is not promised. Nothing is promised.
Right.
And the thing is, because you see your guests come in there, it's like, man, you retired? Yeah, I'm retired. You travel? Yeah, I travel. I say, you don't think you would have thought about doing it earlier? You said, you know what? I wish I would have.
You bring up these examples of people coming in and traveling and enjoying themselves and going throughout the country or the world and just enjoying things that they felt like they could have enjoyed or should have enjoyed prior to it. And we're fortunate to be able to inject ourselves into those experiences and create these positive memories.
Yes.
And look, we it's interesting because we've had a lot of people come through the doors of the places where we worked in hotels. Right. At this time, this pandemic, especially sending a lot of people home, has a lot of people to just kind of reflect on what's important to life. People have grown closer to their faith. And some people have grown closer to their families as well.
Yes.
And so what I hope for everyone is that we don't lose that. Like, we're going to come out of this because we're going to be resilient. And New Orleans is a perfect example of that, especially post Katrina and everything else that has endured as a city. But as a country now, since this is impacting everyone, I'm sure we'll see that same resilience. But what I hope is that the good that has happened, because Obviously, this is a horrible situation, but there are some things that are very true about what has happened to some people in terms of growing closer to their faith and to their families that I would hope for everyone that's retained and we see just remaining true as we come out of this as well. It kind of rolls into our next question here and our last question. What do you hope for the future of travel in our industry? You know, as we come out of this pandemic, I mean, what is your wish and your hope?
You have an international perspective because you guys are Dominican, and so which is a positive. Not and so you see life from a different perspective. In other words,
right?
You know, and so when you talk about the country, it's like, you know what? Only the United States that you can do this. There's a whole lot of places that can probably attempt to imitate, but for whatever reason, there's always a breakdown in the system here or there, whatever the case may be. But my hope is that people recognize that your strengths and weakness is kind of intertwined. But the thing is, you have to keep an open mindset to say, okay, I know that I've seen this happen. We can bounce back from that. You just have to give it time. There's no rush on it. There's back on track. We'll definitely get it back on track because everything's already in place. It's just being mindful of not saying, well, I need to have the new sneaker that comes out for me and my family. And the thing is, you know, you have to think about rainy days do come, and here's one right here in front of you right now. And so how you handle this rather, is going to determine how we come out of it.
Definitely.
Yes.
And I'll pose the same question to you. So, you know, what do you hope for the future of travel in our industry?
Our industry, again, I want it to grow and continue moving forward. I want the youngsters to come in and be open, and, you know, the veterans to support them and just, you know, help teach them. And let's make this thing go in the right direction before we lose this, before it become nothing but, you know, black and white on paper. This is what you do. This how you do it. This how you're supposed to do it. You know, let people be people, you know, and keep growing in that direction. And the industry will still survive it. It'll survive it. But we got to let our youth come in, and they, you know, the ones that want to do this, because all of them ain't equipped to do it. Some of them have a whole different mind frame, but the ones that want to do it, and we got to support them. The industry has to support them. If they see them growing, let's reward them. Let's promote them. That family value, because that's what we need, because we are family. We see each other at work more than our spouses probably.
That's right.
So,
Absolutely.
you know, at that point, we are family. So let's treat them like family and not just crap on them, you know. If they're doing something wrong, we got to address wrong, but we're going to address right first, and then let's tell them what they need to do to get on track so that wrong can become a right.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Of course.
And if we can do that, if we can do that with the youth and get them going, this thing gonna grow. But
our listeners will definitely be pleased with this conversation today. You guys are the example of what it means to be successful in this industry, but not just, you know, success in terms of your role, but really success in terms of how we want the service industry or service to be perceived in general from our industry, not just here in New Orleans, but as a country. You guys are the epitome of that, the example of that. And I sincerely appreciate, you know, the both of you making time to chat with us today. And I'm confident that with the both of you in our industry, we will continue to see success, and we'll continue to nurture those that are coming into the industry that want to build a career in it, because you guys are the example of it, you know, and it's a proof that hard work pays off. It's a proof that when you love what you do, it doesn't feel like a job. It's really living by and being that example. So, you know, thank you guys for that. A huge thanks to both of you guys for what you guys mean to both of us individually too, from our careers and how we come up in our development. And you guys have demonstrated that to us as well. So, and just to add to that, I mean, you know, it's interesting that the way we ended our conversation today is the way we started, by saying that the people in our industry are what really make the industry what it is. And Ed, your last point there about really focusing on the people coming in just only validates that. Is that the industry isn't just about the names on the building. It's about the people who work in it, the people who are uniquely impacted right now by this whole pandemic. And that we're going to be resilient through, I'm sure of it. But we need to continue to invest in those individuals. And I can't, you know, thank you guys enough for being on the call with us. And also, just like Jerry pointed out, I mean, Jerry and I are fortunate to have a career that's afforded us the opportunity to be where we are right now and leading hotels. But that has less to do with what we were taught, to your point, in the classroom, has more to do with what we were taught on the floor. Those teachings that I had from my fellow bellmen and doormen at the time, and the folks that were alongside me at the front desk at the Crown Plaza there in my first stomping ground. I still stick with me today. I learned what to repeat and what not to repeat in terms of what to do and how to be a leader, just because, again, I was taught early on that leading, all of us lead, all four of us here, and every single person in our industry, we lead by example. We lead through the passion that we have for this industry. And that's what makes our industry as special as what it is. So again, I just to ditto what Jerry just said. Thank you guys for being, on this call, but more importantly, thank you for impacting us personally in our careers, and trust me that it's not something that hasn't stuck with us. Every single one of those moments has been a teaching moment throughout the course of our career as well. So thank you both.